Hey guys, it's Hamilton553. Welcome back to another Beyblade X unboxing and review. Today we're going to be checking out one of the first booster packs from Wave 8 of Hasbro, that being Gust. Now going over the packaging quickly, as you can see, very similar packaging that we've gotten in the past for these boosters with a nice open window. And on the back goes over everything we get in this release. So of course we have the Gust blade, Ratchet is 385, and we have the gear point bit. So let's get into this release. So here is Gust out of the packaging, the first of our Wave 8 Beyblades. So yes, Wave 8 is starting to appear in some countries, which is pretty cool. Now this Bey is a retool of an existing Bey, so following the similar pattern we've gotten from Hasbro in the past. But let's now go over each of the parts that Gust comes with. So first off, we have the Gust blade itself. So it is a BX Bey, so we do have the plastic covering over the gear chip. Now, Gust is a retool of Whale Wave, which honestly is a pretty big surprise. Now, when you do put them side by side, they are fairly similar shaping-wise. I mean, and there's not a whole lot that's different. Gust just doesn't have some of the intricate details. His launch hooks are a little bit bigger. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of difference between them, apart from the gear chip. And by the way, love the gear chip on Gust. I think it looks really cool. I think this is probably one of my favorite gear chips they've done. But this should perform very similar to Whale Wave. It is a bit lighter, I should say that, but you will be expecting very similar performance to Whale Wave. So a lot of the combos that work for Whale Wave will work really well with Gust. But even still, I really do like the look of the blade. Next up, we've got on the 385 Ratchet. Now in this really interesting kind of dark color, and I'm actually getting a little sick of tired of seeing this Ratchet. I know it's a cheap Ratchet, but come on, give us some different Ratchets here, Hasbro and Takara, like please. I will admit, I do like the color, but at the same time, I'm just getting sick of tired of seeing this Ratchet appearing. It's been getting so many re-releases. I would have liked to have seen some different simple Ratchets get reissued here, not 385. But I mean, the color's nice though, but kinda wish it was a different Ratchet. Finally for the bit, we have Gear Point. Honestly, not a bad bit to include here. We haven't seen this bit get that many releases from Hasbro, so can't really complain about it being included here. And I really do like the pink color it's in. But apart from that, we've gotten this bit a few times now, but pretty happy to see this again in the booster. I can't remember exactly the last time we saw it, but I know it's been a little while. But even then, pretty happy to see this bit here. While it's not the best point bit, I do appreciate it. With this combination of parts, it makes Gust a balance type. So let's now head over to the scales and see how much all these parts weigh. Alright, let's now weigh up all the parts for Gust. So Gear Point weighs 2.25, 385 weighs 4.65, and then Gust, this one weighs 36.0102 grams. So that is pretty good weight, but it is lighter than the original Whale Wave. So this one weighs 38.26. So it is about 2 grams lighter. Now, my other Gust that I do have, that one weighs 36.4, so about a 2 gram difference. But I'll be honest, the 2 grams lost might not be a bad thing, because it might actually be a little bit more stable. So, but yeah, that is pretty interesting. So, 385, Gear Point. So there's the full combo. So all together, Gust weighs 42.97, so not a bad weight. But let's now head over to the stadium and do some test spins and some test battles. Alright, now we're going to do some test spins and some test battles with Gust Bat. So let's see how this goes. Now being on gear point, it's going to, depending on how you launch it, it's going to behave differently. Like, I'm going to do a few tests with its stock combo first, and then I'm actually going to switch it to a combo I used to run with Whale Wave that I really liked. But I'm actually curious to see if the 2-gram weight loss here will affect its performance, because while Whale Wave was really good with hitting hard, it does tend to destabilize itself. So maybe the 2-gram weight difference might actually help it be a bit more stable. Well, not be destabilized as much from its recoil. But yeah, I mean, I've always said this with the retools, I've always loved them. I mean, they may not be the best performance-wise, well, most of them. You gotta admit, they always look really cool, and I think Gust Bat is probably gonna be one of the best ones, like look-wise. But let's now see how Gust Bat can't talk today. Let's see how Gust Bat does against some opponents. Yeah, I don't think the 385 ratchet's probably the best choice for it. Yeah, I think the 385's really working against it here right at the moment. Whoa. Alright, we're going to try Gust Bat with one of the combos that a lot of people used to use for Whale Wave. So we got it on 560 Rush. So let's see how it does with an attack type combo. Yep, Gust Bat still hits just as hard as Whale Wave. That is something that definitely cannot be underestimated. So that is it for my look at Gust Bat. I'm actually really happy with this bay overall. It's probably not the best retool Hasbro's done, but it's definitely one of the better ones that we've had recently. I think it looks cool, the gear chip is what really sells it for me, and while the blade shape is pretty basic, it does get the job done. It is a bit lighter, which tends to be the trend with a lot of these retools, but even then, I'm really happy with the blade. As for the parts though, it's a bit middle of the road. I mean, I'm happy to see Gear Point get a re-release, but I really would have liked to have seen a different Ratchet. I'm getting sick of seeing 385 and 455 specifically. So I do think we should have seen a different Ratchet here, but even then, I'm pretty happy with this release. If you couldn't find the original release of Tide Whale, this can be a decent substitute if you are after the Whale Wave blade. But overall, not bad at all. So my final thoughts on Gust Bat are pretty good. I would say this is definitely a bay you would want to get if you really like the motif of the gear chip, and if you haven't gotten, say, Gear Point. I would honestly would have liked to have seen a different Ratchet, as kind of sick of 385. But honestly, pretty happy with this bay overall. So it's a great substitute for Whale Wave if you've not gotten that blade yet, and you do get at least a decent bit, but a kind of a crappy Ratchet. But other than that, that's going to do it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Beyblade X videos in the future, and until then, I'll see you all in the next video.